Thank you for being with us. I'm Brian Williams. We hope to see you back here tomorrow night. Good night.
Straight ahead tonight, a KCRA3 exclusive. Police arresting a Sacramento man on child porn charges at a house next door to a daycare.
Plus, we're one-on-one with Governor Schwarzenegger on why no one seems to care about the budget crisis.
And canine cops are walking their last beat for the city of Oakdale. The dogs are forced out of their jobs. Hi, everybody. I'm Dave Walker.
And I'm Edie Lambert. KCRA3 Reports at 6 starts now in high definition.
You're watching KCRA3 Reports at 6 in high definition, where the news comes first. This is KCRA3 Reports at 6 in high definition.
There's so many kids on the street. It's so sad. It's so sad.
Neighbors are stunned after a state worker and union leader was arrested on charges of having thousands of pictures of child porn on his computer. We begin tonight with that KCRA3 exclusive. A researcher at the state insurance department and the president of a state workers union is now under arrest and charged with having thousands of images of child pornography.
He was taken into custody at his home in Sacramento's South Natomas neighborhood on Rancho Roble Way. We have live team coverage tonight, beginning with KCRA3's Teo Torres. Teo?
Yeah, good afternoon, Dave and Edie. The man's name is Jaime Feliciano. He is 49 years old. He was arrested today for possession of child pornography and probation violation. Law enforcement and state officials tell KCRA3 Feliciano is a researcher in the state insurance department. In June, he was elected as president of the union known as SEIU 784, which represents workers at not only the insurance department, but also the controller's office, general services, and other agencies. State says it is cooperating with law enforcement and is currently checking Feliciano's work computer to see if it contains any illegal images. Feliciano is currently locked up in Sacramento County Jail on $120,000 bail. That is where KCRA3's David Bienick now joins us live with more team coverage. David.
Well, Teo, Feliciano's arrest is raising eyebrows not only because of his position within state government, but also because of where he lives, right next door to a child daycare center.
The man hiding his face as he was led away today by police was known by his neighbors as being quiet but friendly.
I'd skateboard down the street a couple times and he would say hi to me. He says good morning when I'm getting ready for school.
Acting on a tip from authorities in Nevada, a probation officer went to the Sacramento home of Jaime Feliciano, a registered sex offender convicted of lewd or lascivious acts with a child under 14. On Feliciano's computer, investigators say they found thousands of child porn images.
He's got quite a bit, and we're concerned about it. There potentially could be more victims in the neighborhood. He lives next door to a daycare center, so that's just some of our concerns.
Neighbors here might have assumed they were safe from sex offenders because right next door to Feliciano is a full-time licensed daycare center with 12 kids.
I was wondering, how did they have that child care next door with him on there? I wanted to ask my neighbor, but I didn't want to be, rude. So.
Jessica's Law, which was passed by voters 2 years ago as Prop 83, does limit sex offenders from living within 2,000 feet of a school or park. But the law does not include any restrictions about living near daycare centers. And the owner of this daycare apparently never checked the registry.
I would say he's a nice guy. I mean, he was talking to us. He was giving treats for kids, and he was okay. I mean, I was thinking he's a nice guy.
So tonight, Jaime Feliciano is locked up, waiting to be charged. Investigators say living next door to a daycare will not be one of his offenses, and that once he gets out, nothing will prevent him from moving back.
It's just horrible. I mean, God only knows what he even likes about those children, so he just could be sitting out here watching our children and getting off on it. It just disgusts me.
Now, State Senator George Runner was one of the authors of Jessica's Law 2 years ago. His office told me today that because there are so many daycare centers in this state, including them in the living restrictions would have been impractical. The law does allow cities to add those daycare center restrictions, and some cities in the south part of the state have started doing just that. Live at the county jail, I'm David Bienick, KCRA3 Reports. Now back to Dave and Edie.
David, thank you. U.S. Marshals and Washoe County deputies think they have nabbed the final suspect in a rash of rooftop burglaries. Investigators say 40-year-old Joseph Krivak is the guy you see here in these surveillance pictures. Police say the crime ring would break into businesses by cutting through the roof and then dropping inside. Today, detectives surrounded Krivak at a house in Reno just before noon, and he gave up quietly. Next, Krivak will be extradited to Placer County, where he faces multiple burglary charges.
Well, there just might be, I'm sorry.
Dave, I should have finished that. He will be joining his alleged partner, and that's who we were just talking about. An anonymous tip led sheriffs to all this.
Well, as we were saying here, there could be a silver lining to all the turmoil recently in the housing market. It looks like the federal takeover of Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae is causing a spark in the home buyer's market. After that announcement, mortgage interest rates for 30 and 15 years fell considerably, and that could mean some very big news and good news at ground zero of the foreclosure meltdown. That is Stockton, and that's where we find KCRA3's Rich Ibero tonight. Rich?
Well, Dave, home mortgage rates dropped as low as 5.375% on a 30-year loan. On a $400,000 loan, that could mean a $200 monthly savings. There's no shortage of for sale signs nor homes for sale. And with the takeover by the federal government of Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae, mortgage rates tumbled.
I mean, it throws another batch of new home buyers into the market that, I mean, with the rate being a little bit higher, maybe they weren't able to qualify. And now they're able to qualify for more of a loan, more property.
Lenders had been tight with loans, but the government's entrance will help put stability back into the market.
It still comes back to availability of dollars for home mortgages, and if this can help the market.
Still, the problem of foreclosures remains, and this move won't stem the tide. San Joaquin County has seen 12,000 foreclosures since January of last year, and foreclosures are still on the increase, up 300% from last year. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Home sales have risen from the dead, and the government takeover will benefit sales even more.
Record months of pending sales and sold sales the last 5 months running. So we're seeing our area turn around, and it's looking positive.
The buyers have increased fivefold, but at the same time, prices have dropped dramatically. In San Joaquin County, the median price of a home has dropped from about $400,000 to about $215,000. Reporting live in Stockton, I'm Rich Ibero. Dave, Edie, back to you.
Perhaps some new stability to the home buyer's market. Rich, thank you.
They could use it. Now to the overdue budget in California. Today it is 71 days late, and Governor Schwarzenegger's meeting with lawmakers today trying to help strike a deal. He's asked people to pressure their lawmakers to compromise, but in a one-on-one interview with me earlier today, the governor said he's learning that the state budget is really the last thing on many people's minds.
Well, it's very difficult to get the people involved because I know when I walk down the street, people come up to me and say, thank you so much in protecting our environment. Or thank you so much on, having extra troops down at the border so we don't have so many illegals coming across. Or all those kind. So there's certain things that people focus on. Education is one of them. Healthcare is one of them. They get really involved. But when it comes to the budget, they say, you do that. Don't bother me with your budget. I already have a problem with my budget. I'm already trying to pay off my credit cards and get another credit card to pay off the old credit card. That's the real problem. It's to talk about budget reform or to talk about redistricting. Those are not sexy subjects. Those are not sexy issues that people want to jump on and get involved with. So I think one has to deal with reality, but it doesn't mean that we shouldn't get people involved. I always challenge the people. I always tell them, I said, look, alone I cannot do it, but together we can.
And hard as it may be for legislators to agree on a budget, it is excruciating for the thousands of taxpayers, vendors, and agencies waiting for money that is right now stuck in the pipeline.
And the newest addition to our KCRA3 news team is covering one of those stories for us tonight. Galston Dart has the very latest on this part of the ongoing budget crisis from the newsroom. Galston, welcome.
Well, thank you very much, Dave and Edie. And a South Lake Tahoe woman is one of thousands out there waiting for pre-approved payment. She was severely injured on the job. She qualifies for medical treatments and back pay, but still, she hasn't seen a dime from the state.
I remember being loaded into a helicopter.
Jeannie Horton used to spend her days volunteering for the El Dorado Search and Rescue Team. All of that changed 2 months ago when she was accidentally hit with a bolt of electricity while on a rescue mission.
20,000 volts let from the power line into the repeater antenna down through the truck, found me.
Now her days are spent going back and forth to the doctor's office after having her foot amputated. She's also battling chronic pain and battling with the state of California.
I found out within the first couple of days of my injury that I'd been approved for benefits, but that there was no money to pay out.
Horton's medical bills are over $500,000 and climbing. Her private insurance won't cover the bill because it's a state workers' compensation case.
The way it is set up right now, it is completely dependent on the budget passing through the state legislature. Because that hasn't happened yet this year, even though I've been approved for workers' compensation benefits, they have not been able to pay out a dime.
Horton tells KCRA the Office of Emergency Services needs an appropriation from the state before paying bills, and that's not going to happen until a budget is signed.
And I'm definitely held captive by the state budget at this point.
In the meantime, Horton is on leave from her job as a physician's assistant, and she's forced to borrow money just to cover her living expenses.
That money is gone. I just would like them to put their political opinions aside and realize that I'm just one of a great many of people who are being hurt by this crisis.
And just one of them out there, okay? And we should mention that we did contact the Office of Emergency Services for comment, but so far, no response from them. Edie, Dave, back to you.
All right, Galston, thank you.
It was standing room only at Armijo High School today, where hundreds of Fairfield residents said a final farewell to the murdered city councilman there, Matt Garcia. The 22-year-old politician was shot to death last week outside of a friend's house. His killer still on the loose tonight in a murder that has shocked the entire community. And as KCRA3's Sherakina Shams reports tonight, that community remembered his legacy today.
Dave, that service ended just about 25 minutes ago. People led by Garcia's family, about 2,000 Fairfield residents, walked out of this stadium. Now, perhaps the most notable point of this service was Garcia's grandmother. She addressed the crowd saying she has no hatred for whoever killed her grandson, but would like some answers from that person. More than 2,000 people gathered at a memorial service for Matt Garcia listened most intently to one speaker. His grandmother, the woman who raised him, said something no one expected, making a direct appeal, she said, to whoever killed her grandson.
And I want to ask him, face to face, why did you kill my grandson? Why did you do it? Didn't you know how much we loved him? What did he do to you? What were you thinking?
But police had little to say at a news conference earlier in the day about who may have killed Garcia. They fielded multiple questions about Jennifer Tarbell, the young woman Garcia was visiting the night he was shot. They called her simply a cooperating witness.
Not expressed any frustration. Like I've said before, they believe in the city police department and Chief Rainey and his team. They know their son did. Their son stood behind them, and they know that the city of Fairfield's police department will do all they can, and they are doing all they can to bring this individual and/or individuals to justice.
And as KCRA3 first reported, the governor has put up a $50,000 reward for information leading to a conviction and arrest. Now we are learning that reward fund is growing. Earlier today, the Solano County Board of Supervisors added another $50,000 to that amount, and we are told later this week the Fairfield City Council will take up this issue and is expected to add $50,000 of city money to that fund. Everyone here saying they're hoping this huge reward money will be even more incentive for someone to come forward. I'm Sherakina Shams reporting live from Fairfield. Back to you in the studio.
All right, Sherakina. I'm still on the way tonight on the news at 6 o'clock. Forced off the job. Ongoing budget cuts put canine crews off duty.
Plus, one bridge across the Sacramento River is out of commission this week. We'll tell you why and how long this could last.
And in the weather, it looks a lot like it did yesterday, but it feels a lot cooler. I'll tell you just how cool it's going to be tomorrow morning. Your forecast is coming right up.
I'm Lois Hart, live in the KCRA3 newsroom. Here's what's new at 6:30.
The Berkeley tree sitters are uprooted. How their protest came to a noisy end today. And a resident grabs his gun to fight off a group of home invaders, what police are saying about the deadly shooting. And President Bush announces troop reductions for Iraq when many of our service members are coming home.
Closed captioning is brought to you in part by Sleep Train Mattress Centers, your ticket to a better night's sleep.
There are people all around us going hungry. They are our friends, our neighbors, families, and children. That's why KCRA3 and KQCA My 58 TV are once again helping out with KCRA3 Kids Can. Last year, 482 schools in 14 counties collected 405 tons of food, and this year we can do even more. Help KCRA3 and KQCA My 58 TV help the hungry in our communities. Make a difference. Register your school now for KCRA3 Kids Can. Details on kcra.com/community.
The best coverage of high school football is on KCRA3 and highschoolplaybook.com.
KCRA3 High School Playbook, starting this Friday night at 11 on KCRA3.
From the players to the cheerleaders, from the fans in the stands to the marching bands.
And each week, vote for the game of the week. KCRA3 High School Playbook, starting this Friday night at 11 on KCRA3.
When we called Empire for a flooring estimate, we didn't plan on purchasing that day. But we got a deal we couldn't pass up.
Empire offers brand name flooring sold at the lowest price, guaranteed. Choose from an incredible selection right at home. And we install next day. Get the lowest price, guaranteed. Plus no payments till 2010.
They did an excellent job. We will definitely use Empire again.
800-588-2300 Empire.
Today.
Don't miss Mercy's Health and Lifestyle Expo for Women, Thursday, October 2nd. Get details at carebeginswithme.org.
Is roof debris turning your gutter into a tinderbox? Protect your home with Byers Leaf Guard Gutter Systems, the gutter that never clogs. Guaranteed.
It's Designer Week at Ross, where you'll find the same designer brands as department stores at a fraction of the price. Designer Week at Ross. Don't miss it.
Join me, Tom Sullivan, and the Sacramento Metro Chamber for a day of stimulating dialogue and provocative banter at Perspectives 2008. Friday, September 19th, hear from one of the world's leaders in mind-body medicine, Deepak Chopra, President Bush's former chief strategist, Karl Rove, environmental activist Robert Kennedy Jr., political pundits Bob Beckel and Cal Thomas of Common Ground, and political comedian and impressionist Frank Caliendo, presented by Bank of America. For tickets, call 916-444-1919 or log on to KCRA.com.
SMUD. Save energy, save money. Learn how at smud.org/save today.
It is a sign of the times. The city of Oakdale is retiring its police dogs because of budget cuts.
KCRA3's Lois Hart joins us now here in our studio with more.
Edie, there wasn't much choice. It was either people or dogs. As it is, the Oakdale police will be laying off support staff and freezing some positions. Cito will be going home with his handler, Sergeant Joe Carrillo.
He's great with the family, great with the kids. He knows when he's at work and he knows when he's at home, and he's able to turn that off and on.
Canine officers find drugs and help out in dangerous situations, but the department could not justify the costs.
A well-trained canine working with an officer has been selected for the position. Ordinarily costs around anywhere from $12,000 to $15,000, depending on the provider that you select to do the training. Then you got the ongoing costs of food and veterinarian expenses. Someone that might be considering running from an officer that's been detained or fighting with an officer, the dog being present and barking has a psychological effect on that person's thought process, even if they're intoxicated. So, you know, it's a loss.
Another canine officer, Shadow, is old and failing and will be retired with a family. All told, the Oakdale Police Department is cutting more than $300,000 from the annual budget, but the chief says his priority is keeping sworn human officers on the street.
Everybody feeling the pinch. Lois, thank you. It was Really a great day to be outside and celebrate a birthday, just about anything you want to do.
Yeah, we
outside.
saw this one out at the state capitol today, a pretty big birthday on the calendar. This marks the date the state of California was admitted to the Union 158 years ago. We saw dozens of people out there for the state birthday party on the Capitol steps, and even this little cool dog getting in on
the goggles, huh?
Yeah, getting his share of that frosting there, keeping his eyes shaded from the sun. Cool doggy. It felt like fall out there, I have to say.
It sure does. Got more of this kind of weather on the way, Mark?
No. Today is going to be the coolest day of the week by far. During the day tomorrow, we will see temperatures come up, but that's not going to stop us from having a cool night tonight. Let me show you how we're doing right now. We have clear skies and 70 degrees in Sacramento. That's a live look from our Rayleigh Field sky camera where the River Cats are playing tonight in about 45 minutes or so, and it'll be a cool night at the ballpark. You can see the flags. That's the southwesterly wind at 15 miles an hour. The wind's blowing out, but yeah, a cool evening. Right now in Fairfield, we are already down to 66 degrees, and over at Travis, the wind's howling, southwesterly at 25, gusting a little over 30. I do think that wind will diminish a little bit as we go through the night tonight. It's starting to get a little breezy in Stockton. You can see the flags there from our Skycam in Stockton. We have 75 degrees right now, wind out of the northwest at 13, but we have the classic Delta breeze pattern working here. Look at Modesto. It's 10 degrees warmer in Modesto than it is in Stockton. It's not all that far, but of course, Stockton is a lot closer to that Delta breeze. Modesto a little farther away, so we have 85 degrees in Modesto. And at South Lake Tahoe, it's also been a somewhat windy day. We have 67 degrees, wind out of the southwest at 10 now, and that wind will continue to come down as we go through the night. Nothing in the way of rain, so KCRA3 Live Triple Doppler is quiet. We did see a few clouds zip across the Sierra earlier today. This is a time lapse from our Lake Tahoe sky camera, just some flat clouds going by, so nothing in the way of rain producing clouds here. And we topped out in Sacramento at just 77 degrees. Yeah, the average is 90 still at this time of year, so certainly a taste of fall, but as I mentioned, this is about as cool as it's going to be. Little weather system dropping down from the north. You can kind of see the clouds here through Oregon. That helped to initiate some of the cooling and as well as that Delta breeze. But over the next couple of days, we will lose the onshore breeze and it will be replaced by the offshore breeze. That will allow temperatures to come up a little bit tomorrow and a little bit more on Thursday. And we'll also have very low humidity, which means no sign of any rain, no chance of any of those showers or thunderstorms in the Sierra. Dry conditions with a shifting wind and a gradual warming trend. It'll be cool tonight in the Sierra, 30s for overnight lows. Temperatures tomorrow afternoon in the 70s, and places like Pollock Pines and Arnold will make the mid-80s. Let me show you the 5-day forecast for the Sierra. If you're planning on going to the mountains this weekend, it'll be nice. We will see temperatures come up. There's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Temperatures around 80 to 82 with overnight lows around 30. But again, notice that we'll have plenty of sunshine. No chance of any rain or thunderstorms this coming weekend in the Sierra. Tomorrow in the foothills, we will start out in the 50s, then get back into the 80s tomorrow afternoon. A little bit warmer than today, but still very comfortable. Look at Placerville, 86 degrees. The fog that we've had on the coast, the marine layer, will get burned off over the next day or so as that wind shifts offshore. That'll carry all the fog away. So even though tomorrow San Francisco will be in the mid-60s, over the next couple of days it'll most likely be up to around 70 or so. For the valley, upper 80s to maybe as high as 90 tomorrow with that wind out of the northwest around 5 to 15. And for the Sacramento area where today we were down 15 degrees from yesterday, tomorrow we'll add about another 10 degrees. That'll put us into the upper 80s to maybe as high as 90 degrees. The KCRA3 Weather Plus 5-day forecast will stay in that range of low 90s into Thursday and Friday, then mid-90s for the weekend. That's still better than last weekend's 100 to 102. And then next week we'll most likely get back to the upper 80s to low 90s, which is nice. So yeah, this is a little taste of fall, a little preview of fall, but it's not quite here yet.
It's a while, until we get there. Okay, Mark. Thanks.
Feels like football weather, but it's actually baseball weather.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're live at Rayleigh Field, live Cam 3 network out there, where the River Cats tonight begin their PCL championship quest, taking on Oklahoma City, the first of 5 games, 2 at Rayleigh Field, and all 5, if needed, taking place in Oklahoma City.
All right, go Cats.
So ahead tonight, why a drugstore is taking San Francisco to court.
And here's a look at what we're working on for the news tonight at 11. Sarah Palin, the superhero. Action figures of the Republican VP candidate are already hitting the internet. We'll show you the 3 different versions.
Win a Prius at Cache Creek's free daily ride slot tournament. Visit CacheCreek.com for details.
KCRA3 News from 7 to 9 on My 58 TV.
Live Copter 3 HD over an apparent ATM robbery.
Traffic Pulse 3.
580 westbound. It's going to take you an extra 25 minutes.
Information for you.
There is a way to save and get dinner on the table without coupons.
Live Copter 3 HD.
They've got the giant maze going out here in Dixon. This thing is truly amazing.
Cool stuff.
Believe it or not, tailgating dates back more than a century.
Watch tomorrow. KCRA3 News from 7 to 9 on KQCA My 58 TV.
Visit your local Big O Tires today and get ready to pack your bags. Because right now, when you buy 4 select tires, Big O Tires will give you a free round-trip airline ticket. Hurry in. Our buy 4, fly free offer won't last long. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
Desmond, the doctor will see you now.
It's Fruit Crepe Fever. Sweet cream cheese and luscious fruit-filled crepes starting at $4.99, only at IHOP. Come hungry, leave happy. There's no topping IHOP when it comes to dinner, too.
With its powerful Hemi engine, the Dodge Ram helps you go all out, all day.
California's leading environmental groups all oppose Proposition 7 because it's deeply flawed. It effectively eliminates small renewable energy producers.
I went into the solar energy business 32 years ago for all the right reasons. And now Proposition 7 threatens my business for all the wrong reasons. Prop 7 could cost California thousands of good green jobs.
Join California's leading environmental groups and vote no on Prop 7.
Hello, Mike.
Wednesday, September 24th, Knight Rider returns.
Transformation complete.
With more action and more muscle.
Incoming missile.
Hey, deploy the flares.
Flares are ineffective, Michael.
It's getting hot in here. Knight Rider, the series, premieres Wednesday, September 24th on NBC.
Spanish language closed captioning is sponsored by the Elk Grove Auto Mall. Find it all.
A major route through Yolo County for the farmers there to cross the Sacramento River is shut down today.
And it's going to be closed for the rest of the work week. The Freeport Bridge is just south of the Pocket area, and it's a vital link for agriculture in the Sacramento Delta. Today, crews are shutting it down to repair the bridge's lock mechanism. Workers say it should not affect the regular commuters too much, and it should reopen on Friday afternoon.
Well, a mystery may have been solved. Investigators think that a skull that a hiker found just west of Lake Tahoe may be that of a man who disappeared some 4 years ago. The hiker found the remains last month near Echo Summit. El Dorado County authorities say that it may be the remains of Andrew Sewell, 59-year-old Rio Vista man who disappeared in October of 2004. Detectives think that Sewell died of accidental exposure.
Looks like Walgreens is gearing up for a fight with the city of San Francisco. They're trying to stop the city from banning the sale of cigarettes and tobacco inside pharmacies. This week, attorneys are requesting an emergency injunction in Superior Court to block that ban. Walgreens says the ban is unfair because it doesn't apply to grocery stores or big box stores that have pharmacies.
Well, you remember those tree sitters in Berkeley?
Oh, yeah.
Going on forever, it seems. But right after the break, those tree sitters protesting in Berkeley for nearly 2 years, they're down tonight. They have finally come down from their perches. What brought them down? But not a lot of fuss.